tunnelled in straight away to individual aspects which could have easily have lost the day.
Frost effectively said I should have stood up on the bridge and done nothing and waited for everyone to arrive and taken charge. In hindsight, perhaps once I got the generator going and restored Firelane, I should have gone back to the bridge and taken charge. But when you're in an incident like that and you're rushing around, the adrenaline's going, it's very difficult to shut off, if you like, and withdraw and do nothing.
So if you found yourself in that situation in reality, would you still feel you were right and do what you had done?
Absolutely, I'd do exactly the same thing again. I would try and restore services so that we could help the distressed and injured on board that ship.
Petty Officer Fenn has even more problems. He's meant to be in charge of firefighting, but his team are still on their way from Newcastle. In the meantime, he's trying to cope with treating 2 casualties and moving them from the site of the fire. One of the FOSS team is trying to make a point by adding to his difficulties, and he seems to be enjoying it.
So while you're looking after this one, who's looking after the other one?
No, it's not.
So it's back again. It's back again.
To save the life first, so we've got to look after the casualties. You drag that one round.
So life-saving priority, not firefighting when you come on board?
Yeah, when we come on board a civilian ship, we've got to save the lives first. MEO firefighter, over. When the firefighting attack party arrive, send them forward, over.
With so few people on board a large and unfamiliar ship, it's hard to find out what's wrong. In some cases, members of the FOSS team have to provide the vital information needed to keep the whole exercise going.
It's there, isn't it? Oh, it's in here.
Roger.
Back on board Newcastle, the helicopter controller, leading Seaman Oldham, is passing messages to the Lynx as she shuttles backwards and forwards with men and stores. With only 2 people on each trip, it's a slow and time-consuming business.
345, Roger, you are 5th close. On 345, you win now 260 and 15 crewing.
Everyone else has to arrive by boat and face the long and difficult climb up to the tanker's deck to join the teams who've arrived by helicopter.
Come on, you're not too much through. Keep climbing, come on.
You got your journey on your Falcon, on it?
Yeah.
Right, well done. What's your next plan?
Our next plan is to get the fire team, attack that fire, because I believe there are trapped men behind it. Come on in, down the portway,
Right, 3. Directly in front of you, a major fire. From this position, you can fight the fire. Positive. Take charge of the team.
Now, at last, Petty Officer Fenn has got his firefighters together. But there's still a lot more work to be done before the tanker and her crew are safe.
Come on, move it!
As always, the FOSS team are close at hand, watching for any omission.
Have they been taking notice of the signs on the doors? Flammable liquid?
No. They've been boundary cooling on the top and this portion of the bulkhead here, but they haven't actually checked any of these compartments, only felt the outside of the bulkhead.
So they haven't bothered to go and see if there's any casualties in there?
No. There are still 2 casualties in the hawser store fire.
Okay. Yeah. They haven't searched the ship yet. Right, see you later.
All right.
This is XO. We
Within the next 5
formally
minutes.
accounted for all casualties. 2 more have been found to be missing. We believe them to be in the forecastle. The team are just getting briefed and dressed now. They'll be making a re-entry into the forecastle shortly.
See if you can get their access to where these casualties are. You are.
The stretcher case is now 4 walking
on and off.
wounded, over.
Not too bad, not too bad. These casualties out. Probably made a couple of mistakes that I'll find out later on.
Are you happy on the whole?
I'm happy. I'm happy how it's going so far. Yeah, they're doing quite well under the pressure that they're going to get from me later as well.
But it all takes a long, long time. Too long, in fact. Newcastle's team is beginning to make real progress at last. The fires are being damped down and the casualties are ferried back to the ship's own first aid centre. But the exercise is running out of time. Very soon they'll hear what Fost thought of their efforts today. Did they do the right thing? Did they do it quickly enough? And did they do it safely enough?
No safety brief had been given prior to the ship's company, prior to them arriving on the tanker. Therefore, what had happened if there had been a major fire in the tanker? What would happen if you have to get off in a hurry? Those sort of things should be considered prior to going across. A simple system, take a klaxon with you. If you hear the klaxon, come to a muster point, wherever it might be. You may get caught and you don't want to get caught. MEO, sir, excellent. Good knowledge of systems, started the diesel well, but by starting the diesel, he failed to assess the total implications of the damage to the ship and hence provide the command with the implications: salvage, was the ship going to sink, was she going to explode, was it a dangerous cargo? And I feel that that should be his first priority. Get his team over and they can do the actual technical aspects of starting diesels once he's discovered where they were. Firefighting today on board, no consideration was given to searching compartments on the boundary. There was a corrosive liquid store there and a paint shop. They should have been opened and searched, cooled, or actions taken accordingly.
All in all, it sounds a pretty disappointing verdict, though Newcastle's captain Rob Davies has one or two positive points to make.
I think to actually successfully undertake a search, rescue, firefighting, casualties of a 600-foot ship, unknown, 20,000 tons, with 48 people, is quite a task. It is, if we were actually doing it, we would actually empty the ship about 100 people, and it would probably take, I think, well in excess of half a day to do properly, rousing. And we would actually break the rules of the helicopter flying and get as many people into it as possible. Exactly the same as all the rules broken of helicopter flying when they were picking up the casualties from the LSL, which was burning during the Falklands campaign. It's a classic example. So I think the important things that come out are the command control and actually running it. It's so difficult, isn't it, for when you're the first man on the scene to stand back and do nothing, waiting for your troops to arrive because you're a chief and not an Indian.
I think one of the comments from everybody who went across was that the goalposts moved at every stage. I think my feeling was that it wasn't particularly well planned on behalf of staff and the serial was too short. And although it was a good serial, I believe that I gained about 40% the most benefit out of it compared to most other serials where I think I gained 90 to 100%. So I was very sad that at the end of actually was a busy 3-week sea period. We had this whole ship exercise where we were all very frustrated and weren't sure what we were actually trying to achieve and realised we had lost a lot.
She just hasn't really taken training as seriously as she should have done. It's all been a little bit of a joke to them. They're not quite aware that it's a life or death matter. And the message that everything they do at Portland must be life or death, because that's what it was like in the Falklands, that's what it's going to be like in the next war if we have one. They haven't really hoisted that in.
In the end, Newcastle finished the exercise with a satisfactory grade, a bare pass mark, which the crew will have to improve on next time. Now she's bound for harbour, where Fost will have a whole list of threats ready, designed to keep both ship and crew at full stretch until it's time to go to sea and to war all over again. See how Newcastle and her crew cope with everything from terrorist attacks to earthquake relief in next week's Thursday War.